Are you going to stop doing that?
Are we going?
Okay, yeah, we're going, but are you going to stop doing
I
that?
thought you were going to give me a Wayne's World, like 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, okay, go.
Sweat Equity Podcast and streaming show, the #1 business comedy podcast
Holy guacamole!
in the world. On the world? Should be on the world.
I don't give a shit.
That's fair.
Always am.
Listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. By the way, June 28th, June 30th, and if you're a Tampa resident, Tampa Bay area resident, the real Bay Area, I'll include Sarasota DMA in there, yeah. The metro area.
Thanks for the DMA.
I am
Really
shooting a
cool.
comedy special. Eric is directing, and it's at the Gimmick in Ybor City in Tampa, Florida, in the United States of America.
Earth.
These colors
Okay,
don't
mate.
bleed. All right.
What?
This episode is brought to you by Zupyak, Zupyak. Get off of Jasper. Get off of these other copy AI, all these other kind of jabroni ones. Zupyak.com. It'll write it, but it won't write it where it looks like ChatGPT and some kind of foreign exchange student wrote it. It really writes it, and it doesn't start every article with "Welcome to the blog post. Welcome to this episode of whatever." It doesn't do that. It's the first AI search optimized AI writer for SEO.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I guess.
Zupyak.com, Zupyak, promo code SWEAT, and also Flowdesk email marketing. I just started using it. This is really just a referral code. You get 50% off if you use it in the episode description. Now we got to get our honey on. We got to get our honeybee talk on with not the creator of the Espy Awards, but has the last name Espy, Jack Espy of Spirited Hive.
Jack Espy.
Honey time.
It's called Sweat Equity.
You are listening to the Sweat Equity Podcast.
What is happening?
What's up, man?
Hey,
How you guys doing?
good.
That's Law's fault on the passcode. Just so you know.
Oh, no worries.
Wow,
You're
what a
good.
team player. What a team
I
player.
want to win, bro.
Win
score.
what? We don't.
Bro, I've been keeping track of all the points. I know who's winning.
All the points.
Yeah.
What points?
Exactly.
There's no
You don't even
scoreboard in
know.
here.
Oh my god, you're gonna lose so bad.
Jack, we do something. We do a little lightning round for people who come on the first time. They got to earn their plug to promote
All right.
whatever they're coming on to do. So first,
Are we actually gonna deny somebody their plug?
shut up. You just took all the like the meat out of this.
Jack, have you ever seen a UFO or a ghost? Or had an experience?
Never seen a UFO. I've seen a ghost though, and I never thought I believed in ghosts until I saw one. I was like, no, I believe in ghosts. I do believe in UFOs too, though.
Okay. You can elaborate too if you want, because I mean he said lightning round, but you know I could talk about it all day.
Well, we'll get to it. We can circle back to it like a
circle
real.
back. Okay.
We'll
Is-
circle back
Is
to
is
the-
a hot dog a
back to
sandwich?
ghosts. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No.
You got one?
I'm writing down ghost,
Uh-huh.
so we could circle back.
Because we're gonna watch that movie after this
Huh? Oh yeah.
and do the
Reenact
pottery
it?
scene.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
redo it.
Yeah. What do you got?
Is there a god?
I believe so. Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Watermelon sugar.
Interesting.
Who sings that? Who does that song?
Harry Styles. People hate on Harry Styles, but it's a great song.
Really? I didn't know he sung that.
I'm proud I didn't know that. Let's see. What's your spirit animal?
Spirit animal. Maybe a wolf. Throw a wolf on there.
Wolf is, I feel like the default go-to. What about that one? You want that one?
Which one?
The middle one. Can you read?
No, I don't like that one. It's
I
an
love this
awkward
one. Yeah. What's the?
You ask it.
What's the first time you ever French kissed?
think it was like seventh grade, 6th or 7th grade.
Did you listen to the show before coming on?
I did.
So you knew this was maybe happening.
I knew this was coming.
Okay.
I knew this was coming.
And what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
Oh.
That one you should have known, because we ask everybody that for sure.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. I mean, I would probably say it's going to be kind of cliche, but if I had known I was going to be a founder, I would say just go for it, go for your dreams, go after it, and get it.
All right, you've earned the plug. I'll put some fun music under this.
No, you won't.
I have been doing it.
Have you?
Yep.
No idea.
Yeah, I know. You've been checked out, bro.
I checked right on out.
Jack, you've earned yourself a plug. Where can people find Spirited Hive and anything else you want to promote?
Yeah, so if you want to follow us at spiritedhive.com on Instagram, if you want to follow me, Jack Espy on Instagram, ask me any questions, and then you can buy Spirited Hive online at spiritedhive.com. We're selling in 40 different states right now, and then if any of you live in Tennessee, Texas, Florida, or Michigan, you can find us in stores.
What store in Florida? We're in Tampa.
We're in almost all Total Wines in that area.
Damn it. I almost went there, right? I was a minute late getting to the pod because I went on a quick run.
I mean, you almost went to the store.
I
thought you were going to say that. You almost went to like that as your answer.
No, I saw Total Wine and more, and I was like, oh, I don't think I have time to run in and run.
No, you didn't have time for that. You didn't have time for where you went.
I made it. I didn't give the passcode to the Zoom on purpose to buy me some time.
Right.
It's all part of my plan. I'm playing 3D chess, y'all.
A couple of minutes.
And then, so you can ask all your ghost and
no, I just want to hear about questions. It. You saw a ghost. So where were you? What happened? Did you actually see something, or did you see something move? What happened?
Oh, I saw like a legit ghost.
Really?
I was in Northern California near like Mount Shasta area.
Dude, I was going to say Mount Shasta is like known for crazy shit and UFOs actually.
Yeah, it's spooky. Like the Lemurians, I think they're called. They're like the UFOs. Those are like the aliens that are supposed to be in Mount Shasta. But I was not too far from there staying at this like old house. And the caretakers say that there's like a woman in a white dress that like is a ghost there. And I was kind of like, yeah, sure, like whatever. And like by the third or fourth night, I can't remember which night it was, I was sleeping and literally in the room was the woman in the white dress like looking at me. Do you ever get that feeling when you're like sleeping and you feel someone in the room? I had that feeling and I woke up and in the corner of the room was this woman in the white dress. And I was scared shitless. But I was always never believed in ghosts until that happened. And I was like, okay, now I'm like a full-fledged believer in ghosts.
Yeah. It's weird. Like it's just a lady in a white dress, but there's always fear. You always get that like sense of dread. And I'm just going to keep asking this until you quit being such a hater on all this stuff. Oh.
It's never like the ghost is never like a CPA. It's always like a creepy kid or someone that got murdered, or if it's a woman, it's like
you just got to go to a haunted CPA office.
I'm just saying, like
you're just looking at that. It happens in other places, the old houses and stuff. That's what they're going to look like.
Hear me on this. It's never ghosts are never actuaries. They're never like the most boring thing. It's got some weird macabre to it. It can't just be, hey, someone killed me here and I'm just hanging out.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the thing is a lot of people believe that it's like unfinished business. Either you were murdered or you were a murderer or something crazy unexpected happened. You get caught in this loop.
I want to believe in these things. I just don't. I don't. It's like that smells like confirmation bias. They said, hey, there's a ghost here. You're going to stay in this creepy house. And then you had the vision of it.
Who knows? Maybe my mind was just racing and I was dreaming about it. And it was kind of one of those like in between reality dreams. Who knows? But I'm guessing you've never seen a ghost.
No, not that I know of. And
I've
I don't
been
really
dead this whole time.
I don't really dream. Yeah, are you real? It's one of those things where I don't dream really anymore. I don't know if that happens as you become a man.
No, I know why.
Just like an
That
old
kinda
crusty
sounds sad.
man.
I don't dream anymore.
I know.
don't dream
I
anymore.
Do you
daydream
still
plenty.
feel feelings?
I daydream like the best of them. I can sit around and kind of illustrate something in my head, but I got feelings. I'm emo. I listen to My Chemical Romance still. It's or 30 Seconds to Mars, whatever you want.
Doesn't mean you have feelings.
Do you have alien questions for him? I mean, I'm just more perturbed. You're deep in the Reddit fat dad hole of subreddits of alien stuff.
Oh, you're perturbed by it now. Interesting. Okay, why?
I'm not annoyed.
Because I'm
perturbed.
trying to challenge your life view on what's real and what's not, and you're just being stubborn.
We promised not to argue in front
No,
of the guests.
we're arguing. Sorry, Jack.
We're the hosts.
You get to see how the sausage is made.
It makes them feel awkward.
He's enjoying
I'm
the
kidding.
banter.
This is a comedy podcast, comedy business podcast. We're the #1 comedy business podcast. Hey, getting into the beverage market seems daunting, especially alcoholic beverages, because my understanding with kind of like you might have a good idea. Can I pitch you an idea that I had like 15 years ago, and I kind of see it almost done in stores.
Yeah.
Is it the John Daly?
No. First off, it's the Mayor Rob Ford. And that is a John Daly. Wait, no. A John Daly is an Arnold Palmer with vodka in it. The Mayor Rob Ford is vodka with sugar-free Canada Dry ginger ale lemonade combo. It is effervescent. Try it out. Figure out the formula. Make it your own.
Send him a check.
And it's, I'll just take a creator kind of
A
service.
small royalty.
But just promise you, try it out. It's everybody. I've even gotten our fanciest gay friend, or an old gay who's very fancy,
Fanciest
and oldest gay friend. And he is tough to impress. And he was like, "This is actually really good."
I've got friends that are older and gayer.
Oh yeah, gayer.
Big time.
Prove it. So.
By the way,
Yeah,
real
I
quick,
like the idea.
something got
Good idea.
named after Rob Ford recently. The city of Toronto was like, we're naming it after this guy.
Yeah, the Canadian mayor that like did crack and stuff. He was awesome.
Yeah, no.
He was like Chris
Deserves
Farley.
to have it named after him. Anyway, sorry, my bad.
I had to give it some kind of Canadian flair. He's blonde. It's a little blonde color. It works. Except all women I've told this to call it the Tom Ford. It just their brain autocorrects to that.
Immediately goes straight to Tom Ford.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Yeah. But his legacy needs to live on. You die twice. You die the real death, and then when your name stops being said around.
Yeah.
You know?
You're
You
lucky.
bring him back to life with a drink.
Maybe he'll be a ghost to y'all. Maybe he'll be my ghost.
That would be so awesome.
Here was the idea that I had a long time ago, and I actually did try to kind of work on it with a friend that does like design, how you would do it. It's mimosa on the go. I called it Tagosa. You know it's pretty fucking good, dude. Well, they have those like I don't get them. I've never seen anybody buy those. Like you're at a gas station, like one of those ones that has like 20 pumps and it's got a huge convenience and a beer cave and all that stuff. And then they have the impulse aisle near the counter, and it'll have like those balls of
Yeah, the ones like right on the counter. Right
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's right up there with pickled egg jar. I've never seen anybody buy it, but somehow it's ubiquitous at bad gas stations. To go,
You're pretty much just naming cocktails that could be sold in stores.
It's about the delivery system. It's not really about the product as much as it's a to-go-sa.
It's all about, at the end of the day, it's like you're saying, delivery system, the branding, the marketing, and the brand name behind it. At the end of the day, is kind of what sells those type of products, like drinks that already kind of exist. That's exactly how you sell those. It's all the marketing behind it.
Yeah, it's total impulse buy. You're at Total Wine and More, and you're like, it's near the wacky shit near the counter.
You're like preparing for a party later in the afternoon. You're like, oh man, I want to start drinking right now.
One of those
Mimosa Tagosa.
Yeah, but you don't have to go get the shit. It's already ready. You know, it's so cumbersome to get.
I was just being the person who was already sold on it. I
didn't-
don't know why you're trying to convince me.
Your tone was
You
very
know what?
negative.
I don't like how much of a pussy salesman you are. I'm not buying it now.
Yeah, your tone was negative.
Well, have you guys seen, like the app, the checkout, those things called bug balls?
That's what I'm talking about. Bug balls. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
You want to hear something crazy? Is that they just sold to Diageo, I think it was Diageo, like 2 weeks ago.
What? How much? How much we talking?
It wasn't disclosed, but I think they were doing like a couple, don't quote me, but I think they were doing like 10 to 15 million in sales a year, maybe even more.
They've been around 10, 15 years. Like,
I don't know, what is it?
They've been around for a while. But like,
you probably walk by them all the time. It's these little balls that are alcoholic drinks, and they're like kind of fruity cocktails.
Malt, so that's the thing, they're malt.
Right, so you can sell them in gas stations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's like Truly, in like a bunch of these seltzers are really malt liquor.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just rebranding. Yeah. I like my Colt.
Like Fireball. You know that Fireball's not even whiskey? And some of the accounts are whiskey, but that's why you see Fireball in gas stations, because it's actually malt whiskey.
Yeah, anytime you're really fiending and you see liquor at a gas station that doesn't sell liquor, really, anything else, it just has the little bottles, it's not high potency, or it's like they somehow squeeze it under the radar or whatever the minimum
it's
is.
nerfed somehow.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you want to stay away from.
Well, I mean, Fireball is like, that's come and gone. I think you're really down in the dumps if you're chugging that, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
especially the malt one at a gas station.
Yeah.
You must not be dreaming anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, Tagosis, do what you will with that. It was more about the name.
You can have that.
Yeah, that's yours.
Go ahead, no problem.
Look, I come up with a great idea. You can brand the fuck out of that. Because just like those, what are they called? The Bunsen burner balls?
Yes.
Like, I guarantee you've walked by them 1,000 times and never really noticed it. You might see it now. Reticular activation theory. You will see it more and more now. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things that, those dumb kind of, you're like, who buys these? And that company's profitable shit. So
yeah, no, it's crazy.
So,
well, I mean, like Monaco is another brand like that. Monaco cocktail, you probably have seen it. You're probably like, who's buying that? But they're doing like, I don't even know how many in sales a year. It's crazy because it's like those impulse buys that you see, and they sell them in 1 cans instead of 4-packs. So it's like, oh, it's 1 can,
right?
That's like nothing.
For teachers getting right at 3:15, for
4:30, but whatever.
Any police getting off work. Security guards. They handle the singles. I feel like.
I wonder if like alcoholic beverage branding is like one of the most targeted. Like, I feel like there's more of an attachment to who you are by what you drink.
Sure.
Than anything. I wonder if that's like,
you don't carry around food as much at a party,
right?
Or having social.
I mean,
interaction.
like, what's your poison? Everybody's got their drink that they'll drink, all night, and they'll feel all right, whatever.
I got a tall boy high noon because I just wanted y'all to think I'm cool and a bro.
Right.
But it's one of those things. All right, now I got another idea. I'm just gonna pitch ideas the whole time. No, I got another idea.
I want to hear
Jack's
thoughts on it.
He's gonna get lightning in a bottle. You know how it goes, man. Sometimes you got something great. All right,
you just gotta share it.
Thinking of gas stations, thinking of that market, thinking of you are what you drink kind of theory. Why not? You get with the lottery companies, get a scratch off on one of these shitty malt liquor kind of cans. Boom.
Oh, like it's directly on
it's a
the
scratch
thing.
off on the can. Yeah.
I think a glass bottle might work better, but okay.
Jack's given me like the not so bad face a couple of times.
I don't think it's a terrible idea because you're definitely playing to the same audience.
I mean, I think it could work. I mean, the only thing that I see as an issue with that is there's got to be something with like drinking and lottery.
I was going to say, let's think of the two most pain in the ass government regulations to try and overcome here: gambling and drinking.
But if there's anybody that can do it, Jack can make it happen. I'm just the ideas guy, man. You put me in a room.
I think Jack wants to try and make it happen. Why would you? He's already got a legal
My
drink.
lawyer fees might go up a little bit with that one.
Yeah, exactly. Insurances and whatnot.
Yeah, but who wants to buy 2 things when you can buy 1?
That's true. Can't save time at the checkout.
You call it a bundle, like a cable company. All right, so
Flo. You're pretty much Flo from whatever that insurance.
Yeah,
is.
I'll be her. When you do a startup beverage and it's different in beer than it is, what is y'all's category considered?
So we're technically like the RTD category, which is like ready to drink category, and we're in the spirit space. So we're very similar to like a High Noon. I mean, they're kind of a little bit more on like the seltzer side, and we're more on the canned cocktail side, like a legit cocktail, since we're 7% ABV, using organic honey, other ingredients such as, juices, etc., to make the drink. So it's more of a cocktail, and High Noon and like all those other brands like that are more like seltzers.
Yeah, the organic honey is interesting too, because I was thinking about that as far as like supplying that. Is that a difficult measure, or are you guys sourcing this? I'm sure this is part of the branding of the beverage of like, you're using organic honey. I think I saw on the site, right?
Yep. Yeah, so that's like one of our biggest kind of niches behind the brand is, that's kind of what started everything. I wanted to create a better for you canned cocktail that was only using honey and no additional sugars, no additives, etc., no artificial sugars. And yeah, it is hard to source that because organic honey is very expensive and we need a lot of it. So we use and source from a couple of different, suppliers and then local areas here in Tennessee. And that's always changing because, they don't always have the same amount of honey. It depends year to year, depending on what the bees can actually produce. And so that's very tough and it's very cumbersome and it's very expensive. But that was something from the beginning. I was like, I'm never going to waver from that. I'm always going to use organic honey because that's like pretty much the main pillar behind the whole brand.
Yeah, that seems like the added value. And honey and bees have like this weird
magic.
No, like the bee community and people that make honey. It's like a strange kind of segment of people. I don't know how to say this correctly. Like they're very passionate about it, and you don't think your average person would give a shit about bees or honey very much. But like, you go to a farmer's market, there's usually one guy that has his own jars of stuff,
right.
And you're like, he loves it. Like he loves getting the honey and being able to provide it. I'm guessing you're working with bigger people than that, but
I mean, in terms of stuff that the earth produces just on its own, there's honey and there's weed and mushrooms and what else that you can just right from the from the teat of the earth, it's ready to go.
Nitrogen,
you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sure, oxygen, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean like
atmosphere is
honey,
mostly nitrogen.
Yeah, it's crazy because like those people who are very passionate about it, like it's really cool to see because we use actual like real honey, and I don't know if you've heard of like the dark side of honey where
no, this is we gotta hear this.
Yeah. So a lot of honey that you see in grocery stores and like usually the ones that are in like the plastic bears isn't even honey. It's like 50% honey and the rest is all synthetically made in China. So that's pretty much like
Chinese honey. It's like Chinese drywall, dude.
It's pretty much like corn syrup and all. It's like not good for you at all. Whereas like we try to source like actual real raw honey, which makes it more expensive. We could easily go down the route of like sourcing honey from China or whatever, and it would be like a fraction of the cost. But we're just not going to do that. And we want to try to be as transparent with our consumers as possible. But yeah, I mean it's really tough because it's also super viscous. It's so thick that working with a substance that thick takes a lot more time, money, and effort to actually put it into a can.
So I never understood the bear as a delivery system as a bottle. Anyway,
right?
It's not a.
Are we squeezing the honey out of a dead bear who already ate the honey?
Bears love honey. Yeah, are we the bear?
Are we fighting the bear for the honey?
Is this a gay man
giving it willingly? Right. What are the sexual overtones to the situation? We got to address that too.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And you never really thought about it until you just brought it up. That I was like, oh yeah, it's in a bear.
It should be a bee.
It should be a cute bee.
But that's the problem. Bees aren't cute.
The other thing with beverages,
it's scary.
You have to worry about logistics of shipping and the bottle actual design of it and how much you can fit into a certain amount, a pallet that fits into trucks and everything. Was that an issue? I dated a gal that worked for Coca-Cola and she broke it all down for me, and I was like, Most people find this very boring, but I find it exciting because, like, if you make the can a little bit different, like if you make it taller, you can't ship as much, and if you make it, there's an optimal size for everything, and then you have alcohol, which is a little bit tougher to ship because you got to make sure it doesn't get messed up or skunked or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's so much that goes into freight and shipping and moving, alcohol across state lines and, the taxes behind all of that. And then on the shipping side, it's just super expensive because, obviously when you have a can of product and you're shipping a whole pallet, it's really expensive. And if you're and the cool thing is we're growing. So now we can do closer to like full truck sizes. So like when we're shipping product to a distributor, we'll pile it up and we'll save a ton on cost. But like in the beginning, it was super expensive on shipping. And yeah, you make another point too there. It's like how we structure everything because we're in 12-ounce sleek cans. That's much different than shipping like the squat cans, etc. And it's like wider versus slimmer. And like luckily now we've got it down to a science. But in the beginning, I was like trying to figure it out. I was like, I have no idea. And I was like literally throwing spaghetti at a wall. Like, I guess we'll do 24 cans per case and 104 cases per pallet. That sounds right. Why not? Let's do it. So, now we've got it down to a science, and I have a whole ops team that kind of handles all that. So I don't really look at that too much day to day, but it's definitely fascinating how we move product pretty much all over the country.
Tell us about the growth of it. So you had the idea. We kind of skipped over that. What is the origin story of this?
Yeah, so I was in college at USC in LA and graduated into the pandemic.
Sorry about OJ. R.I.P. He was a good guy.
R.I.P. But I graduated in the pandemic, and I was about to accept a job in LA and, capital markets and real estate finance, and that fell through because of COVID. And like everyone else at this point in time, I was mixing up one too many quarantine cocktails and kind of landed on this idea while making drinks with some friends. I was making up Moscow mules and Mexican mules for my buddies, which are, my two favorite drinks. And I was making all these drinks, and my buddies were like, damn, Jack, like, these drinks are really good. You should can them, because that was kind of right at the beginning of the whole can cocktail boom. Like, High Noon came out the year before that, and there's all these popping up, like, literally every other week. And I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of a fun passion project to kind of pursue until we knew what was going on with COVID. Because I thought COVID was going to end within, like, a couple of weeks. I mean, no one really knew what was going on. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a stab at it. So we're all thinking about different names. And I was like, well, what about the name Mint B? And they're like, well, first off, that is the stupidest name I've ever heard of. But why Mint B? And they're like, it doesn't make any sense. And I was like, well, because there's mint and a Moscow mule, a Mexican mule, and B because they're sweetened with honey. And they're like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, honey's on either of those drinks. Like, what are you talking about? And I love honey. I put honey on, like, my coffee and my yogurt. I put it on everything. So I just so happened to be sweetening it with honey. And then, I was like, well, what if I took that idea and, made a better for you canned cocktail that wasn't using synthetic sugars? It was using honey as a sweetener. So I started with our take on a Mexican mule and was bringing that to parties over the pandemic. And then, my bourbon loving buddies were like, hey, does this idea work with bourbon? So then I made a bourbon one. And then all my friends that were girls were like, does it work with vodka? Then I made a vodka and then a gin. And then it kind of,
you made this wrong. I used to get that a lot when I was a bartender. You made this Manhattan wrong. I'm like, it's gross. It's a Manhattan martini. Anyway, go ahead.
But it kind of snowballed into this whole idea of like, who's your hive, who's your community, who are the people that you love to drink with. It could be your work friends, your close friends, really anyone in your hive. And not everyone in your hive like the same alcohol base. Everyone has different preferences. So that's kind of what we came up with, is like anyone in your hive, if they like the idea of a better for you canned cocktail, we've got a gin, a vodka, a bourbon, and a tequila for anyone in your hive friend group. So that's kind of when I, developed that over multiple years, and then I launched it in May of 2022 here in Nashville and built it as a Nashville brand, and have been slowly growing into, new states, hiring new people, developing new flavors and all of those kind of good things. So it's been a long process over the past 4 years, but it's excellent to see the growth that we've had over the past couple of years, and we're continuing to grow and continuing to hire new people.
Do you have a product integration worked in Nashville with the bachelorette party bicycle bar thing?
Yeah, so we were working. So the bicycle
whole place
bar,
is those. It's just
Those things are
traffic
great.
of
So
that.
how those work is they don't have liquor license themselves, but
Oh, I didn't think you were for real going to answer. I was kidding. But
As
no,
a matter of fact, we do. He's a good businessman. He's already thought of your shit. The things you're coming up with, he's already thought of.
no, I just hear.
worry.
I hear it's like it's got. There's so many in Nashville. It's like insane.
yeah.
It's like it's cartoonish how many are just driving around.
Oh, and also there's some. It's not even just one brand. There's multiple different companies that do it, but they all stop at this one liquor store here called Frugal McDougal, and it's really hard to get product into that store. And we finally got product in there about 2 months ago. So now those beverage, and we did it mainly. You know, it's a big account here in Nashville, but the main reason is that all those pedal tavern things go there. So now we have product there. So we've been seeing our velocity go up in that account due to the pedal taverns buying the product.
So Frugal McDougal's their Hive.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It is.
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage that shit. I mean, that's cool though. Like those people, most of those people are from out of town. They come check that out in Nashville. They go home, you know.
Well, that's a big
about it.
reason too. You know why we launched it here is because it's a destination city, not only for the bachelorettes, but you know, country music. We're one of the best sporting cities here because you got Nashville Soccer Club, Predators, and the Titans, and we might be getting a Major League Baseball team here soon too. So,
Hopefully
and it's
not the
all
Rays.
very close, all very close. So people come in, see the product, they're like, "Oh, what's this Hive thing?" Go back to wherever and be like, "Hey, you know, do you have Spirited Hive?" And then that's when we start to get the snowball rolling around. Hey, let's open up new states because multiple people are asking for it, which is another strategic way why we opened up Nashville.
Blue City and Red State. I think those are the best kind of towns in America to be in. You know.
Yeah.
Are you vertically integrating? Are you looking into acquiring farms or bee? What are they called? Bee havens. Bee. What is it?
Apiary.
Apiary. Yeah, I like bee haven.
I think once we get to the
Bee-base.
size, like with that, it's it's too much overhead for us right now. Like owning land and hiring people to operate the apiaries. I mean, something that we could do is lease out land and do that. It's definitely something that we've been looking at. We actually are looking at doing that potentially either here in Tennessee or South Carolina. That was something that we were looking at, but it would probably be like 2026, 2027 until we got to that size.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've been growing at a rapid pace. If you're already getting distribution in 40 states, and you came up with this is a pandemic baby. So it sounds like you're on your way.
So we have distribution from D to C, so direct to consumer sales online through 40 states. We sell specifically, like if you went into a liquor store in Texas, Florida, Michigan, Tennessee, and then soon to be Georgia in July. So it'll be like 5-6 states.
Yeah, but that ain't nothing.
still,
That
what's
ain't
wrong with-
nothing because I mean, just getting distribution anywhere. Apparently, it's very weird and like insular.
That's what I'm saying. Like the red tape is ridiculous, especially for booze.
Slap a scratch
Even
off
if you
on
want to
that.
distribute eggs throughout the United, it's a pain in the ass. Booze, lots of paperwork.
Yeah, because each state is so different.
Right.
And they tax
every
differently,
single state. Taxes are different, but then you have
Alabama
The
doesn't.
laws,
Alabama
the
doesn't.
bureaucracy is different there. Like it's just all.
I was doing the Birmingham Stardome, and it's a Sunday, and I was like, it was 12 noon on a Sunday. And I was like, I'm gonna get some beers and just watch the Bucks game, from my hotel room. And you couldn't buy beer, and I was like, oh, I
It's
forgot.
Lord's Day.
This happens still. I forgot this
I
is
know.
a thing. They tried this in Tampa at one point. Everyone like almost rioted. So
There's fucking dry counties still.
right, yeah. Or you got to buy from like a packy store if you're in Massachusetts that's owned by the
Right.
government.
Or Pennsylvania has state stores.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wyoming, Montana, like North Carolina. Yeah, and that's the thing. Each state is completely different. You have like franchise states and independent states like Tennessee. Then you got chain states like Florida, Texas, California. You got dry states. It's all very, very different. And that's the thing. So you have to like navigate that. And then you also have to navigate distribution. And since now the product that you're sitting right in front of, High Noon, they're taking over the world. It's really tough to get shelf space because, like just for an example,
We'll take free cases and drink it on air every time we're doing this. So anytime you want to send us a pallet, by all means, one falls off the truck, that's fine.
I can work pallet jack.
Yeah, no, well, I'll 100% send you guys a product for you guys to try and drink on the podcast whenever. But But yeah, High Noon, it's crazy. They have grown, I think, they're going to do, I think, 27 million cases this year, maybe even more. And it's like, it's insane. So it's really hard to compete with that. So, for us, it's like trying to be strategic on, how can we get in with these distributors and make it a partnership? Because a lot of these other brands out there, think that their job is done once they land a distributor. But in hindsight, that's when your job really begins, because you have to support the accounts. You have to get those velocities through. You actually have to get like the repeat buys, because once you land product on the shelf, like that's the easy part. It's like, how do you deplete the product off the shelf? How do you merchandise? How do you do tastings? How do you get people to actually like the brand and buy for a second time? So that's the thing that's super hard with beverage alcohol. And it's very capital intensive. You need a lot of money to be able to actually create a successful brand.
Yeah, that was my next question. Are you looking to get acquired? Because we're in the age of acquisition of all startups and whatnot. And it's not icky or anything. It's just that's the plan for a lot of people, is to have a startup and get acquired. It sounds like yours has been all within kind of growth. Is that fair to say? Like you're not taking too much outside capital, or VC firms not like, here's a dickload of money, just do what you need to do kind of thing.
Yeah, it's two things that you can kind of chase in this industry. It's either you chase profitability or you chase growth. I think the times of chasing growth is kind of over. That was kind of 2020, 2021, beginning of 2022, like a lot of these beverage brands were getting acquired left and right because they were doing insane amount of cases.
Right.
And, but you look at their margin, and the margin was nothing on the premise of, when we get acquired, these beverage acquirers can change that, drop our cost of goods, increase our economies of scale, and now our margin's a lot higher because they have the ability to put us in their distribution pipeline, and we'll be good. That's kind of died off because of the amount of products that are in the market now. So now it's like kind of a balancing act of, yes, still chasing cases, but in a smart way where your burn rate's not crazy, and you're trying to at least reach profitability. So we're trying to become profitable in the next 2 years, hopefully, which will be attractive for an acquirer to say, hey, they've actually proved out concept. They're doing well in a handful of markets. Because we don't want to take the approach of like what High Noon is doing, and it's nothing against what High Noon's doing because it's clearly working, but for such a small brand, we don't want to be in 50 states because that would be too much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be too much. Like we want to own 5 to 10 states, maybe even 5 to 8 states, and just own those states, go as deep as we can, really create that Hive community in each state, each market that we're in, and get that pull through, get those velocity numbers up, and then hopefully become profitable. And at the end of the day, yes, I would like to get acquired, but also too, if I can build a sustainable brand that actually makes a good amount of money each year, I would also look at potentially keeping it and growing it over the years.
Well, we'll send you this episode. You can repurpose it as needed without all my bad pitches and whatnot.
Yeah.
And ghost talk.
You're filling a need for sure. Because I don't know about you buying High Noons. Like, you feel douchey. Like I feel like I need to be like, hey, I'm going to hang out with girls later.
I'm sitting right here.
This is just me. I'm gonna, this is going on a boat.
I can see the mom. I can see the mom market, the young mom market.
My point is,
crush your drink.
Well, yeah, it's nice to have an alternative to the High Noons and the Trulies and all of that, just because of what they've become.
Yeah, is there anything else we didn't? Because we got to cut out in a second. Is there anything we didn't get to you wanted to kind of throw out there?
No, I think it's great getting across, our brand on what we're doing and trying to create a better for you option in the space. And like you're saying, a different option. There's so many products out there, but there's not that many that are better for you options and sweetened with honey. I think the other thing is, we're launching new products and new flavors, and we're also launching new merch and everything. So would love to send you guys some hats and stuff like that.
You got some tank tops.
What are
we talking?
Yeah, tank tops will be great. T-shirts work. We make tank tops on our own.
Yeah, we can cut the sleeves off.
Yeah,
I tell my kids immediately the sleeves got scared and popped off. But yeah, we can do whatever. Appreciate you coming on. We'll have to, maybe a year from now, we'll have you on and see how everything's going.
I love that.
All right.
I appreciate you guys for having me on. Thank you guys.
We'll keep in touch, man. See ya.
All right. Have a good one. See you later. Peace.